Sorry. Hello, friends. Welcome to Coding Garden with CJ. Hello. That's it. That's all I got. I don't have a plan. Maybe we'll think of something to code today. But I'll be honest. I'm tired. I don't really feel like coding. So we'll see. But we will say hello to everybody. Yeah, sorry, everyone. Sorry for smacking you in the face. My apologies. Yeah, welcome in. Yeah, that was the stream for today. You just get smacked in the face. What's up, Arjit? I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, we got some supports. Thank you, Fob, for the 12-month resub, a whole year. It's crazy. High Reeve with the 8 months. Stony Eagle with the 5 months. Ched with the 21 months. Nookie Poo with the 100 bits. Code Than Cake with the 1,000 bits. 1,000 bits. And Fob with the 12 months. Thank you all for the supports. Yeah, my laptop's plugged in. At least I got that much done. Yeah, and welcome in. Yeah, there's quite a few people that found me on YouTube or who are coming over. Welcome in, Ogie 1991. We had some other first timers. Leo Valdez, welcome in, who watched my Mac setup video, and Jiratubi and Kishale and Mugshot, who asked, "Do I have any advice for a first-year computer science student?" My advice is to build stuff and learn stuff on your own time, because I mean, at least the computer science degree that I got was very theoretical, and I didn't really know how real apps were built until I got a job. So my advice is to build apps now. That's my advice. And also do extracurricular stuff, like join the ACM, the Association for Computing Machinery. If there's any like meetups, go to them. That's my advice. What's up, MK Knoll and Fior Buddha and Lebabab? Welcome in. 877, build apps now. I snorted. That's funny, Acid Spark. Thank you for that. Try to guess your flag. I don't know, but it says it, Madagascar. Welcome in. Did I change my cam settings? My camera's just further away. That's how I used to stream. It looks a little bit better. I'm a little pale. I have too much lighting. I mean, it's better than usual. I'll say that. Yeah. What's up, Satan? And Mark Boots. Hello. First time? Yeah, Drobin's first time. Welcome in. And Meet Who, second time. Welcome in. Pablo with 100 bits. Thank you for the support. Oh, and Pablo, who says, wow, 1,000 bits. 1,000. And Photon, thank you for the 16 bits. Yeah, so my advice is to do that, because I got a computer science degree and I didn't do that. I still got a decent job, but that being in those kinds of organizations is going to look good on a resume coming out of university. So, and also, if those kinds of societies don't exist, start one. Yeah, and Sound of Gaming, hello. NFG Codex, hello, says, after 30 years in the industry, I started watching MIT lectures, and they're less theoretical, and here's how Google file system works. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't really watched any of the, like the CS50 stuff, which, where's that from? Is that from Harvard? It seems like those are less theoretical. I don't know. What's up, Farshid? The blue screen's a little spotty. Like, here? Where? Here? Oh, nice. You talked to the Pokemon API. Very cool. Have I used the Cascadia code font? I have not. I've been using Anonymous Pro for a very long time. I'm kind of just going to stick with it. Yeah, what's up, homies? I've done very little with Spring Boot. And what's up, Drop Mania? And yes, sir. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Prime subs aren't available everywhere. Hello, Fedim. And the Jiratubi. What kind of developer am I? I just started learning Unreal Engine. I'm the kind of developer that gets things done. I read a lot of JavaScript. But I've done other stuff in the past. I have not tried Fastify. I've heard of it. Interplanet Me, hello. What's up, Crypto and Fedim? And Art Pajan, Boga, hey. Yeah. Oh yeah, I was hanging out on Kip Boga's stream. He doesn't always do coding, but when he does, he codes. I was hanging out there, but definitely check out Kitboga. Middle of the screen, you're seeing blue flickers over the black chat window. Oh, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. We can fix that. Actually, let's go here. Do this. And then this. This makes it a lot easier to see if it is happening. The thing is, I'm wearing like a slightly blue shirt. So like it will disappear. Yeah, see, like there's the blue screen there. That seems better, huh? Like behind my chair isn't the best, but that's all right. I haven't it yet. That's my avatar state. Yeah, MK Noel is saying, no, I don't see anything wrong with theoretical courses if you accompany with work from home. Yeah, that's all I'm saying is go outside of the theoretical stuff. So yeah. And Chris Martin has a good question. He says, is math as important as people say it is in programming? I'm learning maths and computer science, but I'm really struggling with math, especially analysis. I would say basic algebra is useful in programming, but that's about it. And it depends on the kind of programming you're doing, because you can do some programming that does require a whole lot of math. But if you're like building apps, there's not really a lot of math involved. So it depends. Yeah, that's my answer. Because I got a computer science degree and I had to, I'm good at math, but I had to take a bunch of like calculus courses and stats courses and stuff like that. But hardly any of that has ever been used in my professional career. So, but I like math. Math is cool. And Minima, thank you for the 10 bits. Who says, for a new mustache brush. Oh, thank you. Thank you. What's up, Delta Time? It sounds like a dating profile. I'm the kind of developer. Yeah. What's up, Bash X? I've heard of Adonis. I haven't used it. Yeah. Yeah. Live fixing a stream layout. Yeah, we do things here live. What's up, CloudGator? Nookie Poo. Yeah, I have a. Is that when I did the whitish thingy? Yeah. Have I looked into Web3? I haven't. A lot of people are telling me to, but I haven't done a lot of crypto stuff. So, yeah. Where can I find the cool way your Vox site sends your questions over? It's awesome. I built it. You can look at the code. So that's how you can find out, I guess. So I do have my own backend that's like pulling in Twitch chat. But if you look at the code, so when you go here, maybe my server restarted? I think my server restarted. But if it restarts, then any messages older than 2 weeks get removed from here. But the reason you can come back to the site and the messages are still there is because I have a database. Yeah, this thing is, yeah, nice. And so the database stores the questions, but the database is literally just slurping up all of the Twitch chats. And then I have API endpoints that will filter through those Twitch chats to find the ones that begin with !ask or !idea, and then it puts them in the right tab. Slurp up all the Twitch chats. Yeah. And then the real-time aspect is WebSockets. So the fact that if you're on this page right now, you'll probably see me removing these in real time, and that's because the backend is using WebSockets to send out messages when I do stuff to everybody else that's on the page. Yeah. Did I fix the blue screen, by the way? Is it a little bit better? Yeah. Any chance of building something with Next.js today? I'll say the chance is low. We're looking at like a 10% chance. But it's not 0. Now, okay, thank you, Acid Spark. Yeah, I said they're much less pronounced. Yeah. Knowing basic Boolean algebra is really great. Way to waste your time. Just know true and false stuff. Yeah, I just mean from like a beginner programmer's perspective, like algebraic equations with variables and stuff like that, because code is kind of similar to that. I don't know. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like data science is a separate category of computer science that does use a lot of math, but you may not do that for a living. Yeah. What is the most versatile coding language for a beginner to learn? I always say JavaScript. The answer will vary depending on who you talk to. Some people will tell you Python. I mean, technically learning, you could learn C#. It's pretty versatile. It's going to be harder. I don't know. JavaScript is nice. It's really easy to get started with JavaScript. What's up, Orgasmo? What do I think of Gate? I don't know what Gate is. Yeah. Sure. King Rapula, what's up? Yeah, I like math. I have a minor in math. So I did do a lot of math in university, but I haven't touched it since. Can you use P5 with React? You can, but I don't know why you would, because P5 works on a canvas and React works in the DOM. So everything you do in P5 would basically just be on the canvas, which is outside of React. So yeah. That is a possibility. We could add more features to the Reddit clone that we built with Svelte, and then we had the potential to build like a movie search app with SvelteKit. So yeah. What's up, Common Rain? Can I explain corner cases and edge cases with some examples? I heard this a lot, but never understood when to use these terms. I think the general definition of a corner case or an edge case is when something happens that you did not account for in your code. Yeah, I think that's the simplest definition. It gets more complicated than that, but it's really, think of it in terms of a function. Something gets passed into your function, and maybe you're not doing any sort of checks on the input value. Or maybe you have several if statements and you left off an if statement, or you don't have an else statement. So if code were to run through that didn't match the code that you wrote, that's technically like an edge case. So yeah. And I don't feel like showing examples, but that should help you out if you do a little bit more research on that. I do not invest in crypto. I mean, I have crypto, but I wouldn't say I invest in it. Yeah. Yeah. I did not make Vox on stream, though I did. There was a stream where I was rebuilding this website, but we didn't finish. And this is still the old website. We never got around to putting the new website up here. So yeah. I like long walks through a sparsely dense graph, brushing my fingers through Cat6 nest, and deploying a cluster among dimly lit server racks. Nice. Max is saying, I'm a self-taught web developer. I want to know if I need to be very good at algorithms and data structures. I'll say having a base understanding of them will help your code in general. I'll say that you hardly ever, I mean, if you're in web development, you basically never have to implement a linked list from scratch. Like that's not something you would have to do. But if you're interviewing at certain companies, they might ask you algorithm and data structures questions. So that's why you would want to know them. But also just in general, knowing them will allow you to make more informed decisions when you're coding. Helps you break down problems. Yeah. Nice coding is weird. We just haven't worked on the inventory app in a very long time. But if you watch the early videos, we do teach a lot and talk a lot about SQL and database structure. Yeah. Hello, I am Infinite. I'm doing pretty good. It's hard to set up Socket.io with SvelteKit. I mean, because it's server rendered, I can imagine. I don't know. I haven't tried. Yeah. What's up, Josh? Did I see Vue 3 will default come in February? No, but I saw a chat earlier that said that. That's great to know, because if you go to vuejs.org, it's still showing you the Vue 2 docs. But when it goes to 3 as default, that'll be great. But I think we talked about this last time. There's still quite a few community packages that haven't fully upgraded to 3 yet. So, yeah. Oh, that's true. If you're doing game dev, math is important for like collision detection and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm on a Mac. I'm using Mac OS. This is my break timer. I kind of want to change my undershirt because every now and then it gets blue screenified. That's fine. I'll just do that. Is there a reason to choose between Vue or React, or just learn both? I'd say pick one. I don't see a reason to learn both. I mean, I know both from necessity, I guess. I don't know. I know both, but yeah. I mean, the reason to choose between one of them is to find or to choose the one that you prefer that fits your development style and preferences. But I mean, if you know both of them, then you can decide which one to use when you go to build an app, I guess. So yeah. GeoHot said, so this is the question of like, what language should you learn first? Learn assembly or don't start at all. Yeah, he was probably joking. Yeah. learn JavaScript. What's up? Not in the UK, welcome in. And light modes, hello. I love when math finds its way into my programming unexpectedly. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you're doing like Code Wars problems, or if you're doing like coding game problems, you'll come across math a lot. But these types of problems are not they're not similar to what you would do in the real world. They're really just like practicing algorithmic problem solving, that kind of thing. Yeah. I think it depends. I mean, so I started with statically typed languages. Like I guess my first language really would have been Java in university. But and then eventually I did like C# professionally, but I think I got tired of all the restrictions of a statically typed language. So when I started to learn JavaScript, it was very freeing. That being said, I do have all of the background knowledge of like what you have to do in a statically typed language. So I don't know. What's up, Dydart? You got hired as an intern at Johnson Space Center. Very good. Yeah. Do I have any tips for learning or understanding AI and deep learning? I don't. I've never really done much of that. Watch Coding Train. He does a lot of that. Yeah. But congrats on getting that internship. Entropy chat. We're not going to work on that today. And why not knock? Thank you for the Prime sub. Much appreciated. Build a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon checker. We've talked about that in the past. If we could find some sort of data set, I guess Wikipedia could be the data set, but you... Yeah, so the Kevin Bacon, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon is like any actor is only 6 degrees away from Kevin Bacon or something like that, in terms of movies they've acted in, where they acted with other actors or actresses that have acted with people that have eventually acted in a movie with Kevin Bacon. That's the thing. Yeah. Bimsicle says, I'm learning C# for my CS degree this semester, also math. I've already done 3 units of calc and linear algebra, and have 1 more discrete maths and linear algebra unit to go. I'm doing a major in data science. Yeah, so you've got a whole lot of math on your plate. Yeah. Josh says, edge cases I see as the limits you should check, or you should always check. Yeah. Yeah. What's the plan for the stream? I don't have one. Like I said at the beginning, I'm tired. I don't really feel like coding. I probably could code something. I have some lists of things we could build in one stream. Or also we could just hang out. So yeah. Wait, you gave away your API key? Oh, what episode? What did we? What did you help me with? I remember you were helping me. Oh, it was the OMDB, the Open Movie Database. Yeah, that's great. People didn't steal your API key. Great work. Good job, everyone. Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Matha Bahasan? I am having a good day. Hopefully you are too. And MK Noel is saying they watched my video on a Mac setup. Any plans on reviewing the tools and software I use in 2022? I don't have any plans because nothing's really changed. I think one of the main things that changed was my window manager that lets me do things like this. But it's the exact same keyboard shortcuts as the one I used to use, but this one's called Rectangle. Anything else? I think that's it. I think that's the only thing that's changed. Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate, Leo. Yeah, I have Fortune in my terminal, so if you've ever seen my terminal, every time I open it, it has some output text. That's from a tool called Fortune. Learned men are the cisterns of knowledge, not the fountainheads. Okay. The New England Journal of Medicine reports that 9 out of 10 doctors agree that 1 out of 10 doctors is an idiot. That's funny. Yeah, that's what's interesting about Vue 3 is like there were just enough breaking changes that like all the major community libraries like haven't had the time to fully update yet. So at least it's not an Angular situation though, because when Angular JS moved to version 2.0, it was just a complete rewrite. And so there's a ton you'd have to do to upgrade. Whereas with Vue 3, there's not too much. It's really only lower level things you have to change, and the only people using those lower level things are people that wrote like component libraries and stuff like that. What's up, Leak Geek and Ryan? Welcome in. Yeah, I agree with that. Learn one thing well, and then you can easily transfer your knowledge. If you do, I'll do it. But this is the break timer that I use. It's only for Mac. It's called Timeout. But there are similar tools for like Windows and Linux. I've not used Golang. Yeah. Yeah, you guys got it. Thank you for that. Thank you. I did want to build a desktop app. Okay, let me write out some of my ideas that I potentially want to work on. I want to work on a like developer toolkit offline. We'll leave that. But the idea of like a developer toolkit is it has all the things you use pretty often as a developer. So like formatting JSON that you copy and pasted from somewhere, or formatting HTML that you copy and pasted from somewhere, generating GUIDs or GUIDs, decoding a JSON web token, converting between bases of numbers, all the things that you might search for a web tool to do every now and then, but build it as a desktop app that's completely offline and secure in that it's not going to be potentially sending your JSON web tokens off to some server somewhere or something like that. So that is something I've wanted to work on. What else? Oh yeah, we could keep working with SvelteKit, the Reddit API and Movie API. I'm running out of characters. Movie. That. What else? I'm looking at my phone because I had stuff on here. Yeah, we could get really basic. Just like do a topic video on like local storage. Like, what is local storage? How do you use it? That kind of thing. Did I have any other idea? I think that's mainly it. I'm gonna put a 10-minute poll up, and you guys, here's the thing. I may or may not go with what you all vote on, but I would like to see what you're interested in. So if you just vote on this, and I may or may not choose the winner because this is my stream. I get to choose what I'm gonna do. Yeah. This is also what reminded me of it. But this is Windows only, I believe. Yeah, this one looks really good, but it's Windows only. So I'd like to do a cross-platform one that's very similar, honestly. And this would be a cool community project because it would be really easy for beginners to get in there and like add a new feature, add a new tool. Yeah. Cool. All right, I'm 7 minutes behind on chat, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll go slow. Max is saying, "Is learning a low-level language like C, will it help me to improve my coding skill?" In some ways, but they may not be in useful ways depending on what you do the majority of the time. But it will give you a better understanding of like memory management, and statically typed languages if you're not used to that kind of thing. Yeah. Oh, nice, Caleb. Caleb says, "Thanks for the kind words. Before my final interview last stream, I got the software engineering job at Apple. Look at this. We got an Apple dev. Let's get some hearts in the chat for Caleb. Congrats." Yeah. And hello, Ryan. Welcome in. I have not played Screeps, but our good friend Brooke Zerker, he hasn't played Screeps recently. He's been doing some test-driven development node.js stuff, but he used to play Screeps on stream. Yeah. And Mashiko is saying, "Just wanted to say your first video of home inventory app helped me a lot to design the database for my own college project." Oh, you're very welcome. I wish something like that would have existed when I was in college. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I took a database course in college, but I didn't really learn that much. I don't know. It's my stream, exactly. It's up to me. Let's see what's winning. Dev Toolkit, yeah, nice. What's cool about that is I would choose a cross-platform desktop framework that is not Electron. I would potentially use something like, what do you call it? Proton Native, which is based on React, but that is based on libui, so it doesn't use a. You don't have to have a full copy of Chromium and a full. It might embed Node.js still. So we tried Tari last. I still haven't got GCC installed though. I don't want to fiddle with that. Yeah. I like this, Josh. I'm gonna put it in the parking. We haven't used the parking lot in a long time, but it's over here. So Josh is just saying, pick one of the apps that we've built in the past and just rebuild it with Svelte. I like that. What's the easiest way to implement auth? To not do it at all. use a service or a library that already has everything done for you. That's the easiest way, and probably the most secure way, because depending on what you choose, it's been vetted and has a lot of good developers working on it that know what they're doing. So yeah. Am I using TypeScript with Node at work? It depends on the project. I do have one Next.js TypeScript project at work. Yeah. Yeah, the movie DB. Cool. Yeah, I don't think my VS Code extensions have changed either. I mean, there might be a few new ones, a couple new ones, but for the most part, they're the same. Horse, says Dual Mushu. Did you know that 86% of statistics are made up? That seems legit. Yeah, I don't know what the acronym is. There's a lot of them. I mean, a lot of companies that fall into that bucket. Is that the right thing? Yeah, they're all in that category. I haven't tried Brave, mainly because I like Firefox, And then I've installed several extensions that give me those features that people like about Brave, so I don't need it. And I'd rather support, like, I mean, technically I'm not supporting them because I'm using the browser for free, but I mean, at least it's a little bit of advertisement because this is always on my screen, Firefox Developer Edition. So I'd rather advertise Firefox than something like Brave, which is a for-profit company, right? Right? Maybe they're not. I don't know. Are there books that are essential to read in your opinion? Yeah, The Pragmatic Programmer. I mean, if you just search the web for what book should I read as a programmer, this is always going to be on that list. But it's a really good book. Apparently somebody's just posted the PDF with this. This is a good programming book because it's more about the meta of being a programmer, like working in teams and project management and like how to hold yourself, like how to carry yourself at a job and as a developer, those kinds of things. I think there are maybe some coding tips in here, but most of it is like just how to be a good programmer in general. Yeah. So that's a book I'd recommend. Brave, yeah, I'm not saying it's not open source, but open source and for-profit are not exclusive. You could still be open source in a for-profit company. What are Brave rewards? Brave rewards allow you to earn and give it honestly. Yeah, I think that's the thing is like because they have an ad blocker, they'll disable built-in ads, but then they'll inject their own ads to then split the revenue of those ads, but they're probably taking a cut of those ads, right? Right? I don't know. I'm going to stop talking about it because I don't know anything about it. I haven't used Module Federation, but it's a cool technology. The idea that you can have components built in separate languages and have them imported into different projects. Yeah. Why does this keep flashing? Did we get hacked? How's the poll doing? I see a lot of people that want to see that Dev Toolkit desktop app, and then a few that want to learn about local storage. Cool. Utilso? Let's look it up. All-in-one tools for developers. Cool. Yeah, I'm not opposed to building something that already exists because, like I said, it would be under the Coding Garden GitHub organization, so people could contribute, add new utilities and stuff like that. I'll just keep both of these tabs open because we could use it we could use it for inspiration as to what features to add to the app. Yeah. What would I use for the toolkit? I don't know yet. I did mention Proton Native, which is like React Native but for desktop apps. But there is also Vuedo, I think that's, or Vuedo, yeah, which is a similar thing, but with Vue. And it's all based on this library called libui, because libui is a cross-platform GUI library, and then there are Node.js bindings to libui. So this doesn't use Chromium like Electron does. So yeah. A time converter, yeah, that's useful too. Or like a timestamp generator, like you put in the time, it gives you back like a Unix timestamp, that kind of thing. Yeah. IndexedDB? I feel, isn't IndexedDB like not a thing anymore? I mean, it's still a thing, but okay. So 68% of viewers that voted want to see this Dev Toolkit desktop app thing. 22% would like to learn about local storage, and 10% want to see me work with SvelteKit. Great. So I know how you all are feeling. I may or may not do this. Make an operating system from scratch. Not today. Not today. How to learn Unix OS stuff. Just do it. So, I mean, probably the easiest way is to get something like a Raspberry Pi or any sort of single board computer. Just install Linux on it and get used to using it. And that's what I did in university. When I was in university, something like a Raspberry Pi didn't exist, but I used to try boot my MacBook. My MacBook had 3 partitions. I could boot into Mac OS, I could boot into Windows, or I could boot into Ubuntu. And back then I tried a lot of different Linux distributions, and back then the Linux installs weren't as just like one-click install and everything works. A lot of times you had to find drivers or do a lot of configuration to get things working. So that's how I learned Unix. Yeah. Or yeah, you could spin up a virtual machine. That's another easy way to do it. Thank you, Shmesh says. I like you. Thanks. Appreciate you. Yeah. Being web-based allows you to make it online enabled too. Yeah. I mean, I think that's why if we built it with Electron, we could do something like that. But I think one of the major features of something like DevToys is it has 0 network access. So if you're potentially transforming and converting things that have sensitive data in them, you can be sure that they're not going to any server somewhere. Whereas if it's a web-based tool, you can't really make that guarantee. I mean, you could do your best. I was thinking of doing something like that, but having like a really strict content security policy on the website so that like it couldn't make requests out to other servers. It could still technically make a request to its own domain, but if it was hosted on a static host like Surge, you could be sure that there was no backend with the same domain. I don't know. I am 10 minutes behind on chat. Yeah, and Limeotes is saying, I found that database courses in college were a lot more focused on theory and structure and less on practical use. Most college courses are. It's a thing. Databases was my favorite college class, and I had the coolest lecturer. See, like your experience will vary depending on what university you went to, what teacher you had or professor you had. Yeah. How long have I been programming, and what languages do I know? I've been programming for at least 15 years, and I would say I probably know JavaScript the best, and then after that, C#. Because I use C# professionally for like a little over 3 years, and I've used it every now and then recently. And then I've used a lot of other programming languages as well. Like I can write SQL. I've written Python. I've written Java. I've written C and C++, but I wouldn't say I know them. Yeah. Did I use the Jetpack Compose? I don't know what that is. What you talking about, Sebastian? Android? Build better apps faster with Jetpack Compose. Jetpack Compose is Android's modern toolkit for building native UI. Like, are they saying this is all the code required to make this native app right here? That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I haven't used it. No, it looks cool though. Any tips on how to improve typing speed? Practice. I'll give you some tips on what not to do though. Like, is it typing.io? There's one Yeah, this one, typing practice for programmers. I don't like this one. And the reason I don't like it is because the things that it has you practice involve a lot of like regular expressions, and there's a lot of like special characters that I'm not fast at typing at like ever. And I don't want to be fast at that because I don't do it that often, but I do want to be fast at like typing variables and words and stuff like that. So I would say don't use a tool like this to practice. Just find any other tool that normies, non-programmers would use to learn to type faster. So let's do this 1 minute test. Here we go. Is it happening? This looks real. I don't understand. Can I? Oh, it's a lesson. I don't want that. I'm going to do type racer. Race your friends. Here we go. Go here, chat, and you can try racing. Oh, did Twitch remove that? There, click that. Oh, it's going to begin in 6 seconds. You got to go. Go, 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 go. Oh. I wasn't even joined in. 72 words a minute. I'm okay with that. This person got 111 words per minute. So yeah, what was the question? Tips to improve typing speed. Yeah, just use a tool like this where you're typing regular, normal things, not necessarily programming things. And the other thing is, as a programmer, you have a lot of tools at your disposal, like snippets, autocomplete, and I would say get used to using those because then you have to type less. And if you have to type less, you can type slower, but still be faster because you're technically typing less. So cool. Let's try this one more time. I'll send out a new link. "19 people have joined. Nice. Nice. 2, 1. "79 words. I improved. So that's my typing speed, and that's all I need. I don't want to get any faster. So okay. I am 15 minutes behind on chat. Unfortunately, I am going to declare chat bankruptcy. Anything you said over the last 15 minutes that I didn't catch in this window but was in this window, it's gone. It's gone. So sorry about that. Shout out to our friend Clarkio who I learned about chat bankruptcy from. So there we go. You can never be too fast. I mean, I guess that's true, but I'm fast enough that I don't want to practice anymore. So yeah. Is full stack open good? I've heard good things about it. I personally haven't used it. I declare bankruptcy. Argon 2 versus bcrypt. Argon 2 is newer and probably better. I think bcrypt is still good. But Argon 2 is better. I haven't heard about AppWrite. I haven't. Take a look at your pro design. Only because I know you ability. Only because you've been here before. The image aspect ratio is a little bit off. So you gotta fix that. But otherwise, looks really cool. I like you got the movie cards and stuff like that. Nice. Can I click them or just here? Was this add to favorites? Oh, you gotta log in. Cool. Great work. I know it's no worries. No, it's good. I like it. Bimsicle said my database lecturer would give you a 0 for a correct answer if he didn't like your SQL formatting. That's just mean, right? I don't know. I haven't tried Blazor. Yeah, I'll probably move to an M1 Mac eventually. I just don't like everything being USB-C and requiring adapters, because a lot of times the adapters just don't work. Like, I'm talking about like an HDMI adapter, that kind of thing. Like, I'm still on a 2015 MacBook Pro. It has a dedicated HDMI port. Yeah. I have not tried Go. Okay. There's a lot of friends here right now, so let's do something interesting. Killer saying my teacher would tell me drop table if exists is a weird practice. I would say it's not a weird practice in things like database seeds or like test setup, or like if you're exporting a schema and you need to rerun that schema to like override an existing database. Yeah, I use that all the time. 60 words per minute. 60 words per minute. Good job, Andrew. Yeah. MacBook Pro has an HDMI port? The 13-inch MacBook Pro. Okay. It's all USB-C. Mac Pro 14 and 16-inch. Whoa. Look at, yeah. Okay, that's great. I'll get one of these. Yeah, this will be, well, actually, I did talk about in the past, once this MacBook runs out of life, I might just go to Linux and get like a really good laptop that runs like Ubuntu or Pop! OS really well. We'll see. Because that is, yeah, I mean, this is a $2,000 thing. And that's probably for the base model. Look, yeah, some like a System 76 running Pop! OS, something like that for sure. But yeah, let's say I want a 16-inch. I mean, honestly, I'd be okay with. I mean, I think I upgraded to a 512 gig hard drive in this MacBook. I'd be okay with this one, but still, it's $2,500. You know what I can do? You know how many Pokemon cards I can buy with $2,500? Let's see, and then the 14-inch you can get for. I mean, still, that's not bad. The 8-core, 14-core, 18-core CPU, 8-core CPU, 14-core GPU, 16 gigs of memory for $2,000. But that's only for the 14-inch. I don't know. It's true, Josh. Yeah, and I know. I mean, I've in the past I've run Linux as my main operating system, and Rabbit works. It's been so long, dude. How you doing? Just upgraded my laptop, and now I have a blank slate of my old one for Linux. Nice. And that's the other cool thing. I mean, I have a bunch of old devices, and you can put Linux on them. Have you streamed on Twitch recently? Check out our friend. We haven't seen him in a very long time. Hopefully you're doing all right. Does a stream setup with Linux still? I'm sure it's fine. Like OBS, Open Broadcaster software is cross-platform, so you could run it on Linux. Yeah. That's crazy. NFG Codex was saying they got a laptop as a display model. Life is nuts. I agree. Life is nuts for me too. Oh wait, Is there no slow mode? I mean, actually, the thing is, for the longest time, we kept it at like 20 seconds. Just so that I can have a fighting chance of reading most of the chat messages. I don't know. All right, what do we do? We could do a quick like Code Wars coding challenge, just to get some code on the screen. I don't feel like doing that. No, I've decided. Like, whatever problem we solve would be useless, and I want to write something useful. Not useless, and it would be useless in that I couldn't use it for something. I would practice, and my brain would I don't know, get some exercise, but I don't want to do that. I think I want to build this dev kit thing. So basically, we want to build an app that has all of these kinds of like dev tools, like base64 conversion, hash generation, XML formatting, that kind of thing, all in one. And I did talk about doing it as a desktop app, but I think I want to do it as a web app, but I also want to make it very clear that the web app is not sending your data anywhere. So like if you paste a JSON web token in there, the app itself isn't going to send it anywhere. Yeah. See you later, Josh. Thanks for hanging out. Christmas was unkind, so you have to go shopping. A progressive web app? Yeah, well, that's the thing. We could make it work offline. Yeah. All right, let's do it. We have to decide what we're going to build it in. It's going to be front end, but are we going to use React or Vue or Svelte? The thing is, if we did it with Next.js, then it would potentially have a backend. I know that you could pre-build it. I want this to be a front-end only thing, and it's going to be hosted on a CDN. There's no possibility of a backend. I know I could do server-side like generation, like pre-generation, but even so, the code base itself would have the potential to be hosted on a server, and I don't want that. Yeah. We're going to use Vue. We're going to use Vue 3. What does this do, Rufus? I also feel like I know you. Hopefully this isn't anything weird. Face recognition? I'm not going to let it use my camera. This is a cool animation, though. Yeah. Vue 5? That's not a thing. All right. What did... A long time ago, I made a thing with React, and I called it, like, garden tools. That's what I called it, and that's what we're going to call this. But actually, do I... No. So, we're going to generate a Vue app. Called garden tools. These are tools for your code garden. Well, did I do that right? Init. How does Vue work? Is it not like the dash? Oh, the dash should be fine. Oh, it's not. Init is the old way. Create is the new way. Right? Yeah. That's it. But I'll do it this way. Like Arkneka is recommending, because well, actually I think I could do this. Right? No. just to make sure that we're on the latest version of the CLI. Yeah. I'm just hesitant because the last time we used Vite, it didn't work very well. I mean, we did try it with React, but Vite doesn't have all the CLI tools that you get with the Vue CLI. Why are there so many warnings? It's fine. So I guess we'll add in PWA support from the beginning. We need a router. Do we even need a store? We'll set it up in case we need it. Let's go. And what's up, the Shivas? Thanks for being here. Yeah. Vite is a CLI, a tool for generating apps, and it's also like a build pipeline, something like Webpack. Wait, I did that wrong. We're gonna try again. This is fine. Okay. We want that, and that. That. No for that. Dart Sass. ESLint with Airbnb config. Not lint on save. Dedicated config files. Let's go. Cool. I have been live for 1 hour and 10 minutes. It's unfortunate you didn't get a notification. This is fine screen. Whereas, as you can notice, I'm ignoring everyone in the chat that's telling me to use something else because I just want to get it working and done. And when I use things that I haven't used before, I don't know really well, we tend to spend a lot of time on just like setup and configuration instead of a lot of time actually building the app. And so, yeah, I mean, they're front-end vulnerabilities. I'm not worried about it. And not front. Sorry. I would be worried about front-end vulnerabilities. They are build tool vulnerabilities. In that, after I build the app, likely all of the vulnerable code isn't even in the generated app. Watch, we'll do an audit really quick. So, let's look at the first vulnerability. This is moderate. Okay, I'm just gonna look at the high vulnerabilities. Okay, glob pattern has a high severity. It is a dependency of the Vue CLI service. So the Vue CLI service is the actual build tool. It will generate code, but it's not going to have this code in the generated code. It uses this code to generate code. So that's one we wouldn't have to worry about. This one, again, is a dependency of the CLI service. All of these are dependencies of the CLI service. And things like post CSS, that code isn't going to end up in our final build. This code is running locally that will generate code, but the post CSS code itself, with all whatever vulnerabilities are detected, won't be there. So I think we're going to be fine. If you want to know more about that, Dan Abramov wrote an article on it. So read this. Because again, this is front-end code. I'm not building anything back-end. This code's not going to be running on a server. I'm going to generate front-end JavaScript. Okay. Yeah, let's open it up. Is it always straightforward to say whether it's used in production too? Not necessarily. Like, a front-end only app still could be vulnerable to things like cross-site scripting. But again, this app will not have a backend at all. We're not storing user data or anything on a server anywhere, so I'm not worried about compromise of any kind. It's just going to be static files hosted on a CDN. Right. Okay. Let's get a UI framework going. Let me close that. I'll probably just use Bootstrap or Bulma. Because Vuetify, I don't think supports Vue 3 yet. Yeah, so that's what we have to choose. We're going to choose a UI framework. With So Vuetify will support Vue 3, looks like next month they're targeting. I guess it's currently, could we use the beta version? Yeah, that's the other thing, is if we just drop in something like Pico CSS, which I really like. I think I used it for the first time on the last stream. So, but is it enough? Like, does it have enough UI elements? Yeah, I don't really want to use something beta. We're definitely not going to use... I mean, if we did use Tailwind, we'd use something like Tailwind UI. I'm not trying to do all of the design work. I want a pre-built component library so that I can just drop it in and go. What did somebody mention? Quasar? Yeah, Material UI is for React only. Well, I have to search for Quasar.js. The thing is, doesn't Quasar like have their own CLI tool? Yeah. We're already too far. Yeah, oh, no worries, killer. Because like Vuetify would be the Vue JS equivalent of something like Material UI. So like this, yeah, this would be the Vue equivalent of Material UI, but this doesn't support Vue 3 yet. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bootstrap. I already said it. I mean, obviously, the more I talk about it, the more opinions people are gonna have. But there is Vue Bootstrap. I don't know if that supports, or Bootstrap Vue. I don't know if that supports Vue 3. I'm just thinking the things we would need JavaScript for, like modals, fancy drop downs, those kinds of things use JavaScript, which is why we would use something like Bootstrap Vue. Let's see if Bulma Vue supports, or is it called like Volma? Bufi. Bufi? Does this support Vue 3? And the She-Boss, thank you for that gifted sub. Oh, there's a bunch of other supports I missed. Why not? No, UK, thank you for that Prime. Photon with the 6 months. One Computer Guy with the 9 months. Mooley with the 15 months. And the She-Boss with that gifted sub to Byte K. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Vue 3 is not supported. So this is what I was talking about earlier, that all of these major libraries don't have support for Vue 3 yet. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to use Bootstrap CSS. We're not even going to use a component library. This is all we need. We could still technically install it, though. We'll do that. I haven't uploaded a stream to YouTube in a long time, so you can watch this VOD on Twitch for the next 60 days. I'll show you how to do that. If you go to twitch.tv/codinggarden/videos, and then look at recent broadcasts, these are all the streams that I have done in the past 60 days. And you can watch them. Yeah, I'm just gonna npm install Bootstrap. No. Yeah, it's good old, exactly. Like I know how it works. I just want to start writing some code. I don't want to worry about choosing the thing. Okay, so we've installed it. Now we just need to import it. So in our main.js, which is the entry point to our whole Vue app, we can import Bootstrap here. Dist css bootstrap.css. I think that's all we have to do, and now our entire app has it and all of the Bootstrap styles. And like if we look at our main app component, I'm gonna like get rid of everything, get rid of all the default styles. And then we'll just set up the home view. Is that what I want? I think it'll probably be a 2-column layout. So like the left-hand side will have like a navigation with all the different tools you can choose from, and then that will be collapsible. And then the right-hand side, I think, will be the router view, because whatever you choose on the left-hand side will show up there. So technically that would still show up in the app itself. But what we need is a nav bar, like an app bar. So if we look at Bootstrap components, nav bar, this is what we want. I believe we can choose like a dark version. And also we could use boot swatch so that it's not just default Bootstrap. We'll do this, because then we could do something like choosing Cyborg, and then we get a nice like dark developer theme by default. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, scratch that. We're gonna uninstall Bootstrap and install boot swatch. And then we can have like this nice dark nav bar. I'll create a component for it. So we'll have a component navbar.view. It's just going to have the nav, oops, like that. And then we'll pull the navbar into our app component. Not even that. Oh yeah, I think we have 2 focus modes. We're going into focus mode. I'm just gonna write some code. I'm gonna get this app set up, and then we're gonna start adding tools. So here we go. 16 minutes of focus. Here we go. I'm gonna pull in components / navbar. I need to export an object, and then on here I can register this component. So now that I've done this, the navbar component becomes available in the template, and then I can just put the navbar right there. It doesn't like this syntax, or does it? Yeah, I just have to add .view. Okay, let's see what happens. We'll start it up. And we should have a navbar. The dependency was not found. Oh, we need to fix that. So earlier when I was setting this up, I imported from Bootstrap. Now we need to import from boot swatch. And we're going to bring in Cyborg. Okay. And then there we go. There we go. So we've got ourselves, it has boot swatch. It has a nice little navbar. If we want like a purple navbar, I think we can do navbar info. So right now it's navbar dark. Can I do info? Does that work? It doesn't. If I just put info like that. Maybe not. Oh well. It doesn't matter though. We'll get rid of all this extra stuff. And the nav bar will just say garden tools. Easy. Right now it's pulling in the home component. We don't really even want that. We kind of want a 2-column layout where we'll have our different tools you can click on the left-hand side. And then the right-hand side will be the specific tool that you just clicked on. I'm thinking we probably just want like a list component for all of the different tools you can click on. List group. Yeah, I think something like this. But we'll have like the format JSON tool, and then we'll have the decode JWT tool, and we'll have the convert or base 64 convert tool. So we're just gonna have a bunch of tools there. And then we'll give this a class of row. This gets a class of column 2. And then this gets a class of column 10. Actually, we'll wrap this in a div class column 2. So the sidebar will have 2 columns, and then the right-hand side will have 10 columns because it's a 12-column grid. Okay, what do we got? Nice, nice. And so you'll be able to click these, and then that specific tool will load on this side over here. Easy. I think the other thing though is we might have different categories. So we'd have like a formatting category, a decoding and conversion category. I don't think we're going to worry about that right now though. Let's just like get a format JSON tool working that pops up here. So here's what we need to do. We'll have a folder for we'll call it tools, and then there'll be one called format json.vue. For now, we'll just have a text area where you can paste in your JSON content, and then we'll have a button which just says format. Let's see what happens. So now we need to set up a route for it. So right now I'll get rid of the about route. Well, I'll just change it. So instead of about, this will be format JSON. It's the format JSON route. We'll do some lazy loading so that it won't load unless we actually go to that page. And this is going to be in tools/format json.vue. Now, eventually, I think I'll automatically do this. So we'll have a bunch of different tools in that directory, and then we can automatically import all of them and set up their paths automatically and all that. But that should be good enough for now. And then we'll just update. We'll get rid of the about page. We'll update the home page to just say like an h2 click a tool on the left to get started. And get rid of all this extra stuff. Cool. And then on the home page, this thing needs to actually link to that component. So instead of an anchor tag, we can use a router link. And let's take a quick stretch. And this goes to specify an object. So this is going to go to the route whose name is format JSON, like that. And then these two for now are just going to go to the home page. Okay, here we go. So click a tool on the left to get started. We click on format JSON. That pulls up this tool. I could paste some JSON in and then format it. I need the right stuff for buttons. I think I did it wrong. We want just a primary button. What does that look like? Ah, button primary. So over here, cool, great. And if I go here, it just goes back to the home page. It's pretty good. I think the other thing is we can set the, it's staying active though, so that's nice. If I click over here, it goes off. I think we want to add the active class if the path matches. If the path matches the page that we're on. Let me just make this easier to look at real quick. So we want to dynamically add the active class if the current route, I think, can we do something like this? Route dot name is equal to format JSON. Do we have access to that? Let's see. Yeah. So we go here, and it stays highlighted. Cool. 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 And then we can set up our other tools. What's this complaining about? Strings must, oh yeah. Router link exact active. Like that? That's not, I don't know how to use, I've never used that before. I'll look into it when the focus mode is over. Okay. So we're pretty much there. I think I do want to set up like dynamic importing. So that way we can just start to throw tools in here and then they'll get automatically imported and the routes will automatically get set up. Do I care about that? I don't know if I care about that right now. Let's just get a format JSON tool working. So first of all, let's get that text area looking good. So probably want it in a form, in a field set. Let's find the example text area. Like this. So we have a form. Inside that, we have a field set. Inside that, we have a form group. Doesn't even need a label, really. Where does the label show up? We'll put one in. Paste your JSON to be formatted. And this will be for JSON text. And then the ID will be JSON text. This is just for accessibility. And also, if you click the label, it'll focus the text area. And then let's style it. So the text area inside of this form should just take up 100%. So I can make this a scoped style. So now all the styles I put in here only apply to this one component. Let's just see what happens if I say form width is 100%. And height is 100%. And then the text area. First of all, let's see what that gives us. So yeah, now this thing is all the way across. Which is cool, but maybe we only want 90%. Yeah. Perfect. And then we want it to be a little bit higher. I'm curious though, because the form group has the label, and yeah, so I think we can target the text area directly. So I'll say the text area inside the form should have a height of 60 view height. Cool. It's perfect. So now I can paste some JSON in here. I need some JSON. We'll get some JSON from the Reddit API. This raw data. So I want to be able to just paste this in, and then when I click format, it should replace the text with a formatted version of that text that I can then copy and paste and use somewhere else. Let's also do this though. We'll set the text area font family to be monospace, like that. Nice. Cool. And then we can actually set up some Vue stuff. So I'm gonna try using the script setup because we are in Vue 3. So this text area, we're gonna map it to we'll call it JSON input. And then we need to create a ref. Not require. So JSON input is a ref that starts off as an empty string, and then whenever we paste text into that text area, it's going to update this behind the scenes. And then we'll say whenever this form is submitted, we need to parse this and format it. So we'll say when this is submitted, we'll call format JSON. We'll prevent the default action. And then we just need a function format JSON that takes the current value of the JSON input, parses it into JSON, and then stringifies it with some formatting. So we'll say JSON input.value is JSON.parse JSON input, and then we'll stringify it. Right now we'll default to a two-space two-space tab. Cool. All right. Yeah, so we'll definitely want like a copy button, a paste button, and then also we'll add some settings so you can specify like your tab size. Let's see if we messed up. The button does nothing. The button, oh, because it's type button. It needs to be type submit. Did I do this right? So we need a submit event on the form, prevent the default action, call format JSON, submit dot prevent. Oh. Here we go. Okay. Something messed up. JSON.parse, unexpected character at line 1, column 2 of the JSON data. Line 1, column 2? First of all, let's just try parsing it. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it needs to be dot value. That's why. Okay. Here it is. Moment of truth. Format. Nice. Nice. But we should definitely like wrap that in a try catch so that if there is some invalid JSON like this, we actually see that error. Like right now there's a missing missing quote. Cool. Okay, so let's create an error variable. Starts off as the empty string, and then we'll try catch this. But if it resulted in an error, we'll set it to be the error message, and then we can display that error message right above it. Oh, cool. And for that, we'll use an alert like this. So right above the form, we'll show this div if there was an error. It shouldn't be dismissible. We don't want a close button. We just want the error to show up here, like that. So now if well, this should definitely result in an error because this is not valid JSON. JSON parse, unexpected character at line 3, column 1. Seems fine. But then if we give it some real JSON data, not that. Format. We should reset the error. If it succeeds. So we'll say error.value is nothing. Boom. So that's fun. Yeah, now if there is some weird stuff, it'll tell us. I guess the issue here is like we probably should use like almost like a code editor, so that way it has line numbers and stuff like that. Yeah, and then we should definitely have a copy button. Yeah, so I'm back now. I'm out of focus mode, so I will answer any questions you have. Gangster Superman is saying, how did you make it so that you can tell where the error is? So it's a few things. So first of all, this line of code here, this is doing the dirty work. So this is taking the text, converting it to JSON, and then attempting to stringify it so that it's nice and formatted. This right here is telling it to format it with a 2-space tab. We could even do like this, and this will format it with a 4-space tab, which is, there's just more space between stuff. But regardless, This is where things could go wrong if there's a syntax error. So first of all, I wrapped it in a try catch. And so if this throws an error, throws an exception, instead of just spitting it out in the console like it was doing before, now we can do something with it. And so what we do with it is we put it in one of our reactive variables. So error is a reactive string. And what that means is if we change the value of that string, the template will know. It'll automatically update the screen. So this is a reactive value that we set a value to if there was an error. And then in the template, we use it. So this right here is how we get that reactive string into the UI, but we've also added a VIF. So we only show this div if that error has a value inside of it. So by default, it's the empty string. So this is going to be hidden. And then if there was an error, we set it so that it shows up. So ref is not like a ref in React. Ref is more like use state in Vue. There is another one you can use called reactive, and that lets you pass in an object, and you can, like, all of the properties of that object will be reactive. Like Vue will be listening for changes to them. In the case of a ref, you'll notice that we have to access dot value, and essentially Vue is listening on that property of this object wrapper. And if the value property changes, it knows that it needs to update the view. Yeah. Shouldn't there be a pop-up for the error? I don't think we need a pop-up. Just showing a thing at the top, like if I make a syntax error. I think this is fine because this tells them that, hey, there's something wrong with your JSON. Yeah. Yeah, and so like if we get a code editing library, we can do a lot of cool things like highlight the line where things went wrong and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, so the thing telling me which line and all of that, that's actually coming from the JSON parse. So this dot parse function throws an error because it's specifically going through the text and like trying to parse it and make sure that everything's right. And so if this fails, that's the thing that's going to tell you the line number. And we're just using that text and putting it there. So yeah, they did that for us. Interesting. I didn't see that news. So instead of having to do dot value, you can just modify it directly. I like it. For the text area, maybe we could use an A tag. What do you mean? What do you mean? Should the error be equal to false if there is not an error as a Boolean? I'm using it as truthy and falsy. So by default, an empty string is falsy, and so VIF works with falsy values. Yeah. Yeah, let's do the code editor thing. And this will probably be the main thing that we work on today. So I think I'll just get this one specific tool working, and then we can, in other streams, we can start adding other developer tools to the sidebar here. Cool. Let's find a text editor. So the Monaco editor is the one that VS Code is built off of. We could possibly use this. I don't know how easy it is to use though. This is the other cool thing is we can add a tool for diffs later on. Yeah, I'm not sure, Aran. So Aran is asking about, do I know of any good synced communication tools for microservices? They use Kafka and SNS. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what you have to use some sort of queuing system, right? To be able to for your various microservices to stay in sync. But yeah, I don't have experience with that. I don't know. Do I think I can do that with a text area though? Well, I'm just going to use a library because the library itself will add line numbers, and then they likely have so yeah, it'll do things like this, and they likely have options for highlighting a line and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, I realize you can use a ref for an object, but you wouldn't want to. And so mainly if you want to get around doing this dot value thing, you could do something like this. You could create a reactive value. You could call this something like state. And then that could have properties like JSON input and error. And then now down here, I could just do state.json input or state.error. I don't have to do the dot value thing. But in my template, I would now have to do like state.error or state.json input, which is why I'm using these refs, because I'm okay with accessing dot value on them. Yeah, I'm okay with this, and I like having separate variables. Is there any plan to work on the entropy chat? Not anytime soon. Eventually. And Ryan is saying, you did an auth from scratch video on YouTube. Today, would you say the best way to do auth is do it yourself, or are there better tools you'd recommend? Yeah, I mean, I think even back then when I made the auth from scratch series, it was still a better idea to like use an existing service. But the main reason I did that video series is for beginners to really learn what's happening behind the scenes. Because you can use a service as a beginner and not ever know anything about like cookies or tokens or how it all works. So it was mainly a series to help beginners just understand the concepts involved in authentication and authorization. But I would recommend, yeah, use a tool like Auth0 or Firebase Auth or different things like that. Yeah. I'm at a point where I really need to know more about auth. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if you could use those services, but also they usually come. You still have to integrate them with your code, so you still have to write some backend code that syncs up the users they're creating with some user in your database, that kind of thing. So yeah, couldn't you spread the reactive object in the return of setup? No, because that would basically remove it would remove the reactive wrapper, so that way you're basically just sending primitive values to the template, so they wouldn't know when they changed. And I'm using the script setup syntax, so I'm not even returning anything. Basically, any variables you define in here in the script setup are available in the template. Yeah. What do you think about embedded systems? They're cool. They're cool. Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah. All right. Excuse me. Wids says they learned all the basics of Python. What do you think is the next step? Keep building stuff? I don't know. Okay. I think I want to use Monaco Editor. I just don't. I've never used it before. This has like a mini map too. That's really cool. Listening to key events. Oh, do they have a JSON preview? Built in? Code editor component. I mean, it has a ton of. It looks like it has a ton of features. I don't know. They didn't really even have like a getting started. They have a GitHub. Try it out. We do an npm install. And then we just have to look at the samples to see how it works. We probably want ECMAScript module ESM. Browser ESM Webpack Monaco plugin. Monaco Editor Webpack plugin. So we would have to modify our Webpack config. We add the plugin. And then we import Monaco. Create an element. And then the editor gets applied to the element that we created. And it has a value on it. Well, seems easy enough. When I just need a syntax highlighter, I think eventually we're going to want a lot more features than just syntax highlighting. Let's see, JavaScript syntax highlighter with error. Like, if it shows us errors in the syntax automatically, that would be cool because that's kind of what we're already looking for. I'm gonna try to set up Monaco. I'm gonna try to get this going. So, they have a dependency on Monaco and Monaco Editor Webpack plugin. Yeah, I mean, VS Code uses it. I just don't know how easy it's going to be to set up. In Monaco, you can set up a TypeScript server without any effort. That's cool. I don't think we're going to do that, but that's cool. Well, actually, I need to modify the Webpack config, so we'll keep it later. So this is saying we need to add a plugin. And in Vue Js, it's really easy to modify the Webpack config. You do it in vue.config. I'll have to look it up. I think it's something like Webpack, maybe? And then plugins? I don't know, though. We'll see. I'm just going to go look at the Vue Js docs on how to do it. We'll go to the v3 documentation. I guess this actually would be Vue CLI, wouldn't it? Working with Webpack. Configure Webpack. That's what we want. So we just put configure Webpack plugins, and then this will automatically get merged with the full Vue Webpack configuration. Yeah. Can I try Volar instead of Vtur? Sure. I've never heard of it, but Vtur is the one that I'm using. It has 9 million installs. Let's look up Volar. Is it the Vue language features? Does it just work? Oh, built for Vue 3. Okay, let's try it. All right, let's see what if anything changed. I mean, it's installed now. Does my linter still work? Nope. Oh, it's still, I'm still initializing JavaScript and language features. Cool. It has 32 reviews. I feel like somebody made this, installed it 259,000 fake times, and then got me to install it on stream so they could hack my computer. That's what happened, right? Does anyone we've seen before in chat talking about Volar? Okay, here we go. It started back up. Seems likely, yeah. But what we should get though is things like autocomplete in like attributes. So v-if, and then I would expect that it knows what properties and variables are allowed. Yeah, I mean, it knows that that's a string, so that's good. That's good. What about right here? Yeah, and then it knows that okay, I think we're there. It's working, so that's a good thing. We got some supports. Killer, thank you for the sub. Zapak, thank you for the sub. Jesus Christ, thanks for the sub, the prime sub. And Razor1, thanks for the resub, 21 months. That's a long time. Yeah, we're doing Vue 3. Okay, so we've added Monaco. At this point, we need to just use it in our component, which is going to be something like this. We'll figure it out though. We'll have to convert it to work with what we want to do. So we need to import it. We need to install Monaco Editor, not Monaco. What is Monaco? What did I just install? A daily build of Microsoft Monaco from 5 years ago. Well, I accidentally installed that. We want Monaco Editor. Okay, great. We're not going to be creating a div. We're going to need to create a ref. Not like a not this kind of ref, but an element ref. Like this. So yeah, actually we don't even need a form anymore. I mean, I guess we'll have a form for the button, but above that will be where you put your actual text in. We can do ref. We'll call this the editor. And then we need to watch this ref for changes. So when we actually get the ref value, I guess we don't need to watch it for changes. We can do on mounted, because on mounted, that ref should have a value. Now in script setup, how do I get access to refs? Why don't I want ancient Microsoft technologies in my project? Yeah. Does anyone know? I'm using the script setup in Vue 3. Is it still in... Oh, use ref. I don't see it. Use adders. Yeah, the thing is we don't get access to this, I don't believe, in script setup. No worries, Killer. I mean, it would make sense, right? If there was a use ref. What is this complaining about? Module parsing. What? Do I even need this? Honestly, do I need this Webpack setup? Or can I just use Monaco? Okay, people are telling me I can just do create a null ref, and then because I have assigned it, so I'm assigning it here to editor. We can create it null by default. And then on mounted, it should have a value. Like that. Null. Hello, Electrothermal. Thanks for being here. What's up, Minsick? Vue Js 3 script setup refs. Oh, I called it editor. Yeah, you're right. I need to call it just editor. It worked. See, we got it. It's just an empty little div. We can give that div some style. We'll give it a class of editor. And then now, say the editor has a height of 60 view width, and it should have 100% width by default. Great. So this is going to be our code editor area. And then now that we have access to the element, we can try doing this thingy here. And then instead of doing a get element by ID, we can just pass the ref in like that. Whoa! It worked. We aren't getting syntax highlighting though. Beautiful. Let's see how they did it in their example. Width, height, border. Huh. Create div to avoid needing an HTML Webpack plugin template. Yeah, editor.value will have the current DOM element on it. Because it's possible that that element would change. In our situation, it won't change. We're not doing anything to the template that would cause this ref to change. The language is set to JavaScript. Yeah. Oh, just chatting is fine. I think people will find us that normally wouldn't find us in software and game development. Yeah. Is there a Vue language option? I don't know. There might be like a custom provider. While I'm thinking about it, though, I'm going to go ahead and uninstall this Webpack plugin. I thought we needed it because in the example they had it, but apparently we don't need this at all. We can just use Monaco. Okay. So that's fine. Let's go to their docs and find what other options are available to us. Yeah. Well, the thing is, so we have that little arrow function in there. I should at least see syntax highlighting for this. Do we get... Oh, Oh, font size. 2 rem. Oh, I need to start it back up. It's too small. Let's do 24 pixels. Wow, look at that. Okay. We still have no syntax highlighting though. Playground. Oh, okay. We want like that JSON example, and then we can probably copy the options from there. Yeah. Model URI? Don't need that. Configure the JSON language with schemas and schema associations. Create an editor with that model. Do I want a JSON schema? Language shop. Yeah, that's what I have. Value. I have a value with some JavaScript in it. I mean, I think the arrow function is the thing you don't like, but we could do thing equals hello. The language is set to JavaScript. The theme is VS Dark. But there's no syntax highlighting. Hello world. Oh, do I need to like add? I think I need to add some Monaco CSS or something like that, which is what the Webpack plugin was maybe gonna do. I think that's my issue right now. Browser, ESM. Okay, so we do need the Webpack plugin, but is this our only Webpack option? Webpack Monaco plugin, Webpack small, Webpack TypeScript React, Webpack TypeScript. Monaco Editor Vue 3. Use ESM version with Webpack. Monaco Editor Webpack plugin. Well, if they're using that, I'm gonna guess that we at least need that. And then our config can go back to what we changed it to. I don't want to debug this error. You may need an appropriate loader to handle this file type. Currently, no loaders are configured to process this file. So I guess we need the TypeScript loader. No, Monaco contribution.js. Crimson is telling us. What about the editor? Oh, colorize. I think I'm still missing the CSS though. Well, oh no, I'm not trying to install this one. I was just trying to set it up how they have it set up. It says it got merged here, but how? Does that mean I don't need to install it separately? Monaco Editor / ESM / Oh, delete TypeScript from languages? Sure. You may need an appropriate loader to load this file, css.worker. Okay, so now that's there, and now this will have syntax highlighting, and it does. Great. Should look at that. Wow. Okay. But do we have support for JSON, JavaScript? Do we have support for JSON? Is that a thing? A supported language? Oh, the only thing I changed is I removed TypeScript and CSS from the supported languages. And then here, can we set the language to, excuse me, JSON? Yeah, look at that. And so now, if we put some actual JSON in there, oh, not that. It has highlighting. that's great. That's super cool. Now we need to integrate with the editor. So when I click this button, nothing happens because I need to actually get the current value of the editor. There's got to be some sort of does the create return anything? Yeah, this is going to create a code editor. So you do it like this. We'll have code editor that's initially undefined, and then when we create it, we'll set it. And then over here, we need to like reach in and get the value. So code editor dot get content. We can go look at the docs, but maybe we can figure it out without looking at the docs. Get value? Get value of the current model attached to this editor. Maybe. So we can do something like the JSON text is code editor.getValue, and then pass it in. And we would want to do something. So then we can do something like the formatted JSON is that, and then code editor.setValue maybe. Is that an option? Set the value of the current model. Let's try it. If it works, I'll be amazed. And if it doesn't work, we'll go to the docs and figure it out. Set value with the formatted JSON. Great. And then also, if they try formatting the JSON and the code editor hasn't been initialized yet, just get out of here. And now we don't need that anymore. Okay. Let's also get rid of the initial value. Cool. So we paste this in, we click format. That's so cool. And then we set the value. Look at us. Paste it, format it. Yeah, it's interesting that it goes all the way to the right. I'm a genie. Yeah, I like it. You definitely can enable word wrapping. So I'm happy we got this initial setup of Monaco Editor, because I have a feeling we're going to use it a lot for all of the other tools that we add here. Because like right now we're using it as like JSON formatting, but we could add like a CSS formatter or different things like that. Is this a good way to do it? On-mounted is not a pure function. So we have to do it that way because we need the DOM element reference. So this we have to. There's no other way. Because the way Monaco Editor works is it like mounts itself to this div. So we have to do it like that. Yeah. Set the cursor position to 0. Good idea. So the issue with not using TypeScript is like, so right here inside of this function, the return value of create is typed as a Monaco editor. So we get code completion, like set scroll left to 0. However, down here, because it doesn't know that we assigned it a value, it's just a variable, we don't get that autocomplete. Like code editor dot set. Yeah, we don't get that. Let's see if this works. So copy. What? There we go. Okay. Format. That fixed the issue. It was scrolling right, so I just set the scroll left to 0. Cool. So for the code editor variable, what do you mean by that? Yeah, and Monaco is what they use in VS Code. I think if I add the CSS formatter, I'm gonna have to figure out the other like language dependencies that I would need. I think in one of the examples, like this example registers all of the different language workers. Oh, and then it adds like, but the thing is, I believe the built-in or the default Vue Js Webpack config has things like a CSS loader. So I don't know why that wouldn't work, but I don't know. Yeah, I think eventually we'll create a wrapper around the Monaco editor. Yeah. We could do that JSON JS doc thing. Yeah, the Jazz doll who's asking about my environment or setup. I have a video. It's about a year old, but my setup hasn't really changed much. You can find it here, along with a lot of other videos that I've done. But specifically, This one. I guess it's 2 years old at this point, but still, my setup hasn't really changed since. If Monaco is VS Code, how do we adapt Volar so that we get Vue highlight? Oh, I bet somebody's created a Monaco plugin for Vue syntax highlighting. Yeah. Any chat in red just means it's the first chat that they've ever sent. So, hello, the Jazz Doll. Welcome. Welcome to the Coding Garden. We have some other first timers like It's Just Alon. Hello. What's up, Jasurdota? Yeah. And Creatorian. Hello. Hello. And then after that, if they're not following the channel, then it's this slightly darker color. It just helps me to identify chat messages and stuff like that. Yeah. Do I know if Discord uses Monaco? I don't know, but I don't think they don't have a code editor, right? They just have a syntax highlighting. So I don't know what they use. Okay. I'm really happy. The fact that we just got this set up is really cool. Cool. Yeah, I didn't mean to guilt you into following the Jazz Doll, but I appreciate it. And it's just Alan is saying, I started Node because of you. Nice. I like Node.js. I use Node.js a lot. Okay. Let's add a couple of settings and then I'm going to call it for today. But I like this. I like where this is going. This is nice in that if one day I do a stream and I don't know what to work on, we can just pick a new tool to add here. And I mean, obviously this needs more work. Like, there needs to be more settings. We need to fix the layout. This should be collapsible. There's more stuff that needs to be done, but for now, I'm happy with it. Okay, let's add some options. First of all, let's put the button on top of the editor. And then in the options, we'll have like tab sizing, that kind of thing. Yeah, finally another project that we can just never work on again. But what I like about this project is that it's like a bunch of mini projects within the project, right? So it's not like I ever have to be done with the whole thing. I can just work on individual things. I guess I don't want a text area. I just want to input. It's compilation. The type will be number. ID will be tab size. Min 1, and then no max. You can have a tab size of 100 if you wanted to. And then we'll bind it to options.tabsize. And now we'll create an options reactive variable. So this is a use case for reactive for sure, because we can have our options, which is just going to be an object with a bunch of different stuff. So like tab size is one option. Can anyone think of other options? But for now, that's one option. And then whenever we do the actual formatting, we can pass in that tab size. I guess the code editor theme would be a global theme for the whole site. So like you could go in and set like, oh, I want a dark editor or a light editor, that kind of thing. But right here we can use options.tabsize. Yeah, we definitely need a copy button. Yeah, I think we need global settings for font size and theme, but what options apply to formatting? Sometimes JSON is valid without the double quotes. Is that an option? So that's only valid if you're in JavaScript. And so technically we could create a separate tool that is a JavaScript formatter. Yeah. Oh, well, I guess that's our only option, but that's fine. Check it out. Where did it go? Oh. Why is all that extra space? I don't like that. Though I'm curious. Oh, because the form has a height. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Cool. So put that in, format it with a 2-space tab, format it with a 4-space tab, with a 10-space tab, with a 6-space tab, 2-space tab. Yeah. Oh, a clear button. I like that. That's a good option. Danger. Yeah, I'll make it open source. It's really simple right now, though. There's not much code to it, but yeah, it's going to be open source under the MIT license. What do negative numbers do? I think it's probably just 0. Though I did set the min. Well, the editor is doing some validation on my behalf, so that's nice. Cool. I do like the idea of a minify button, though. Okay. So on click, we will call minify. And then on click of this one, we'll call clear. Cool. The last stream won't be on YouTube for a while, but I did mention it earlier. You can watch on Twitch. So if you go to my videos page, and then go to past broadcasts, all streams from the last 60 days you can watch here on Twitch. So, okay, so we need a clear function. And then when we call that, we just say, well, we always want to exit early if the code editor doesn't exist. But otherwise, we're going to set the value to be the empty string. And then for minify, I'll just reuse this function because it's going to be very similar. I think it's just a tab size of 0, right? So for clear, if we call format JSON with 0, Okay, format it. Well, tab size of 0, format. Tab size of 2, format. Minify? I broke it. Use tab size or options.tab size. Well, this should be undefined when we call it from the format button. Oh, I did this wrong. That should be that, and that should be that. But that still doesn't fix the issue of tab size of 2. So format didn't work. Oh, it's calling it with the that's why. This will automatically call it with the event. So tab size is actually the event. Okay. Okay. Here's what we'll do. We'll call it with options.tab size. That should do it. Cool. Minify brings it back down. Format, minify. Format with a 4-space tab. Format. Minify. Clear. Nice. Yeah. So by default, if I just pass the function name like this, it's going to invoke this function with an event or with like a $sign event. However, if you write it out like I did with passing in your own values, that won't call it with event. That'll just only call it with what you pass in there. Cool. Let's give the form a little bit of margin. A little more. And then yeah. And then these buttons should have some left-right margin. Too much. Yeah. Yeah. Also, I think I want to set up the styling so that like the app container doesn't scroll, but only the thing on the right-hand side scrolls. Let's get that going. So say body, margin 0, padding 0. We'll set the box sizing of everything to be border box. And then the body will have a width of 100 view width and a height of 100 view height. And then our app element will have a height of 100% and a width of 100%. We'll say the body has overflow hidden. So the body won't scroll at all. See, the body doesn't scroll. But then, and let me make sure that like app is the top level element. So we have app, or this is ID app. Yeah, so that should be right. Takes up 100%. Then you have the nav, columns, Cool. And then the actual component itself. Let's call this the tool container. And the tool container should have overflow auto. Ah, very nice. I guess the default size of our Monaco editor is really, really wide. What did we set our Monaco editor? Width. Nice. Oh, it doesn't resize though. Like when the window resizes, it does not resize. If we set the height to that, will this scroll? Because that's what I want. It doesn't. So we've got the app, we've got the div class row. I think, does this one need a height of 100%? Oh, it does scroll. We just don't see it. Yeah, there's a lot of CSS stuff going on here that I don't want to worry about. So we're going to leave it as is. This is fine. I'm happy with this result. We can put some JSON in. We can format it. We can minify it. We can change the tab size. We'll work on styling next time. And I'm curious if the editor has like a resize function. On did content size change. An event emitted when the content width or content height in the editor has changed. Format, minify, clear. I just don't want anyone to click clear accidentally, because then you lose everything. Which is why I put it on the left-hand side. Yeah. Yeah, well, next stream, we're going to work on this one, JSON Web Token Decoder. Though I have a feeling like JSON is going to be pretty common, because, I mean, when you decode a JSON Web Token, you're going to get JSON back, right? So we could reuse this JSON editor thingy to show it. Move clear to the far right. Yeah. Will that work? Nice. Nice. JSON Web Token, yeah, so the hashing algorithm can change, but it always is base 64 encoded. So you can decode it without even knowing what the hashing algorithm is. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Alka? It's a cool emote. And Mr. Bestia is saying, I'm now focusing on personalized app for studying and memorizing, like a quiz app. You think I'm going to go with Flutter? Any objections? It's totally up to you. I mean, if you want to write apps with Flutter, do it. No objections here. And Flip Lucky is saying, I'm a backend dev, but I still prefer a wireframe before I start to write the modules to visualize how the content could be used. Am I the only one? I don't think so. I mean, a lot of people are visual people, but I think even as a backend developer, if you're like designing a database or something like that, you kind of have to know the context. So like seeing the app that the data is for is going to help you better organize and design the database, I think, at least, and also better organize and design the API endpoints that the front end would be interacting with. So I don't think you're alone there. Yeah, you're right. That input is way too big. But what do I do about it? I'm not going to change it. I'm going to leave it like it is for now. Yep, add this one to the list of fallen projects. I look sad. I mean, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Yeah, I just use float. Easy. I mean, I could have used a flexbox, but this is a perfect situation for float. Perfect. Any opinions on Quasar? Seems cool. I haven't used it. Yeah. Does the editor also have the key bindings like in VS Code? Apparently. That's great. Yeah. So like Alt up or down works inside of here. So that's great. And then what we also learned is you get error, end of line expected. That's great. Can I control F? Command F? No way! That's insane. We just have VS Code here. That's crazy. Yeah, it's great. And then we have a find and replace. Find all occurrences of GitHub and replace it with GitLab. Go. Oh, yeah, it's not there anymore. GitLab. Nice. I mean, obviously that's gonna break the gonna break those, but it's funny. So it's built with Vue, and then this thing is called the Monaco Editor, which is the same editor that's used inside of VS Code. Okay, let's clean this up. I'll deploy it, push it to GitHub, and then I'm done for today. We're gonna get rid of those two. More tools coming soon. Cool. Built a VS Code with VS Code, yeah. Can I open the bigger menu? What do you mean? Look at that. Apparently you can. Can you install extensions? That's insane. Insane. What is the size of the Monaco editor? I'm not sure. You can look at it on npm, but also the size is going to change once you've bundled your app, because it doesn't have to include everything. 75 megabytes, but you're not getting, like, in this app that I just built, it's not going to be 75 megabytes. I can guarantee that. I don't think you can install extensions here. I think you can probably enable extensions. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. You definitely can't run the terminal. That's too much. Oh, look at this. They have a built-in format document. You just right click. we don't even have to have this whole thing up here. Format document. There you go. Done. That's really funny to me. Okay. I'm going to build it and we can see the... Oh no, I did the wrong thing. We can see the bundle size after we built it, which there's no way it's going to be 75 megabytes. Maybe a megabyte? Maybe? No, exactly. But I mean, I'm not opposed to that, because like being able to just open up a tab and like paste and do some formatting really quick is something I do a lot, like copying and pasting XML data or JSON data. And I don't want to spin up a whole new instance of VS Code. So honestly, if we just create a web page where the editor takes up 100%, that'd be great. Okay, so format JSON has the Monaco Editor source inside of it, and it is about 2.5 megabytes. So that's the bundled size of Monaco Editor is about 2.5 megabytes. But the nice thing is you only have to download it once you're on the site, and then every other tool that uses it will use the same stuff. So yeah. I'm gonna deploy it. We didn't use Proton, no. And what's also nice is there's code splitting. So when you load the web page, like if we look at the network tab here, by default, because I haven't loaded the JSON formatter with the editor yet, I've only downloaded 100 kilobytes. But then when I click on the JSON formatter, that's when it downloads the rest of the scripts to load up. Cool. We gotta get the resizing to work, because like right now, if you resize your browser, the editor doesn't resize, which is unfortunate. Okay, I'll push this to GitHub after stream, but that's it. That's all for now. Thank you all for hanging out. This was a weird, low energy stream for me, but I guess they've all been like that lately. But thanks for hanging out. You're great. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend. Oh, that's a good point, Gangster Superman. If you had an error in formatting, if you click clear, it should what do you call it? It should clear the error. But yeah, goodbye everyone. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. If you're a sub, there's your raid message. There we go. And if you are not a sub, you can use this raid message. I did see a suggestion for a raid. I'm not saying we're going there, but I'll take a look. Thanks for the suggestion, Ryan. All right. Have a good weekend, everyone. Oh, I'm going to show you one thing before I go, because it's interesting. And I had thought about working on this on stream, but it's not code related, so I feel like most people aren't interested in it. But there's a 256 gigabyte NVMe drive for this fanless mini computer. Let me take it out. This is a Windows 10 Pro computer that is about the size of a cell phone. Look at this. It's got 2 HDMI ports, 4 USB-C ports, an Ethernet jack. This is a full Windows 10 computer. It has 8 gigabytes of RAM, and RWX Rob. Thank you for the raid. I am just ending, but I'll thank you. Shout out to our friend RWX Rob. Cool. Thanks for the raid. I'm actually on the way out, but I'll tell you about this thing, because it's a fanless mini computer. I believe it has an Intel Celeron. It's like at least 2 gigahertz quad-core processor, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and it's running Windows 10 Pro, so like a full copy of Windows 10. It's got Ethernet, 2 HDMI ports out, and it supports 2 4K monitors, 4 USB ports. I don't think I can run Fortnite, no. But regardless, this is a very powerful miniature computer. And so what I'm going to do with it eventually is I'm going to use this to do IRL streaming. So streaming out while I'm in the world, walking or going to a place. And I'm going to use this to run the stream. So, I mean, it has USB ports, so I can plug like a, what do you call it? Like a USB 4G LTE modem into it. I could plug an HDMI capture card into it. Exactly. So I'm making my own gun run, but this thing was only $220. I mean, obviously, like you could build something similar like on a Raspberry Pi, but it's not as powerful as this thing. And I could put Linux on it, but there's actually a lot of Windows tools that just like work out of the box, which is why I'm kind of excited that it runs Windows 10. Yeah, and the main issue is like it comes with I forget the type of storage, but it's not the kind of storage that you typically want to run. It's solid state, but it's also like just like memory storage or something, which is why one of the first things I'm going to do is install this NVMe drive and put Windows 10 onto it. This thing is called the Melee Quieter 2. Not the 2023, but the 2. This one. And I got the 128 gigabyte hard drive version, eMMC. That's the thing. You typically don't want to run a computer with this as your main hard drive because it can be really slow and like mess up eventually. But you can open it up and there's an NVMe 2.0 slot, so you can install something like this. Yeah, and so it doesn't have a fan. It's completely fanless, but the shell is metal, so like I'm sure it dissipates heat in that way. I don't know, but potentially on a non-Friday stream, I might stream while I try to set this thing up. Because I need to reinstall Windows onto this hard drive, I'll need to find all of the drivers and everything else. So yeah, and it includes a Windows 10 Pro license, which is crazy. Yeah. Well, that's probably one of the things I can do is like they have driver export tools, so I could do something like that to export all the drivers so that they can be reused after their install. But yeah. Okay. But thanks again for that raid, RWX Rob. Appreciate you. And thank you, Dr. Erickson, for that Prime sub, DS Legends with the 16 months, Razor Run with the 21 months. Appreciate you all. Definitely check out our friend RWX Rob. And it probably can run Windows 11. I'm going to stick with Windows 10, though, because I know all the things that I want to use are supported on it. Yeah, specifically, if you're interested in this kind of thing, I'm looking into Speedify, which is a VPN provider that has like really generous plans, but they also have a built-in connection bonding, which you can do without this software, but they just make it really easy. But basically, you could have like multiple 4G LTE modems plugged into this thing, and then this software automatically turns that into a single connection that can do like fallback. So if one connection goes down, use the other one, or it can do bonding where it combines all of the connections into a single connection. So I'll probably use this. The thing is, you can do connection bonding without software like this just on Linux. I don't know. I'm gonna go. We're gonna continue the raid train. We have some raid messages for you. Go over here. If you're a sub, use this raid message. If you're not a sub, this is your raid message. And really, the only reason I mention this is because I might do a stream tomorrow or Sunday where I start setting this thing up, and it's gonna be super chill, no code, just like working on this thing. Yeah. That's true. I mean, I have Windows 10 Pro on my streaming computer that I just haven't activated. Mainly because the computer came with Windows 10 Home. But I wanted to use Docker, and Docker needed Windows 10 Pro. I don't know. You all are great. Thanks for hanging out today. We're going to do a raid. Cool. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And until next time, here's this.